All right, folks, I'm back at it, and we will see what's going on here. Why is this one picking up sound? This one shouldn't be picking up sound. There we go. And we will do a little bit of coding this wonderful afternoon. I just had a fantastic lunch, and I'm waiting for my people to join me. And Seva is here, and David is here. They're joining in as we speak. So hopefully we will get. Oh, that sounded like a big site. What's going on? Are you okay?
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, just figuring out React Native styling stuff.
Oh, that's a slippery
It
slope.
has, it's like
It is.
buttons are different a little bit than usually.
And I see Arun is up in the what is it? Is it
It
stars
is.
or it's like glowing? You're glowing today, Arun.
Yeah, my aim is just to glow.
Yeah, that's
Now.
good. That's good. Well, and you are doing a good job on glowing. That's awesome. David is in the dark, and Seva is up in the
As always.
in the sky as usual. That's good. Let's see if your peers will join us. But it is what it is, folks. Right? So let's see. Let's see if we can. Right. Let's have a look here. Right. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about user authentication using using JavaScript, of course, but in React Native. So that's the drama. And if you guys want to tag along, please join me on Twitch, of course. I will be sharing my screen if my performance allows for that. It should do that in a while, and as soon as I have something to present, I will do that. So, you know, we can authenticate our users from many sources. You know, as long as we have an authentication process defined in our system, like in our API, then we should be pretty good to go, right? Now, this will be a little bit of a code along. I will share a little bit of code with you guys because I've written a small package for well, I haven't written it. I have rewritten it. A small package for authenticating with from a React, sorry, from a React app toward a Rails API. So we have one Rails API. We use device on Rails, and that is a token-based solution. And we need to pass those tokens around, and those tokens are being passed around from the backend to whatever client we are using. Using headers in our HTTP requests, right? Headers contain of status, a body, and HTTP request contains has a body, it has a status, and it has headers. And in those headers, you can inject some data in them if you want, and that's how we do that here. So there are a few things that comes into play, right? So first of all, we need to have the Rails API up and running, and we have that in this case, don't we? We already know that before we do that, actually, I'm just going to do git status here. Yeah, git add this, git ci am adds and configures Cypress. Right, something like that, and then git checkout main and git merge Cypress tests. Git merge Cypress tests, right? And I'm just gonna do yarn here, so just to make sure that I'm in good state. I am, and cut package JSON. I never set up a script for this. No, I did not. So we don't have to do that now. At this point, we know that these tests were passing for me yesterday. So I'm just going to open up my VS Code, and you guys are following on Twitch, so you can, I don't know, say hi or something, so I know that you're there. And so yesterday we covered all of this Cypress stuff from we're just scratching the surface, but you guys are intelligent, and so are the viewers on chat, so everybody knows what to do, right? Did you run into any issues yesterday with Cypress? Is my sound not working? No. No issues?
Everything works good now.
Okay. And you were able to interact with the application the way you were supposed to interact with it?
Yes.
Yes.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Good stuff. So let's just see. Right. Right. Oh, gist. No, my gist. Where are my gists? Let's see. There we go. TuneShare Auth.js. Right. So there is this there is this piece of code that we've written here that is that I'm going to share with you. Actually, I can share this gist with you immediately, so you can follow along in what I'm doing. There we go. Right. Okay. So you see, if we want to authenticate our users using a token-based authentication method, there are of course many different ways and avenues to take when you want to do that. Now, in our case, when we have a React application that talks to a Rails API, we quite often, but not always, of course, because nothing is set in stone, use device one way or another. And we are using a flavor of device that is called device token auth, which allows us to exchange those tokens back and forward. Now, when we get that, we want to do something with that token, so that that token is automatically injected into the consequent requests, right? So when we authenticate, we get a token from our backend, and we need to do something with that token. We have to store it somewhere. So usually we store it in local storage or session storage on in our browser, if we talk about browser-based applications, right? And then we need to tell our method, whatever method we are using to make requests to our API, to include those tokens in our headers, right? And quite often we use a package called Axios to do that. We don't have to. We can use other packages, of course, but Axios is a good package and it's very convenient. It has a very simple DSL and an interface, so we use Axios often, right? So in Axios, we can configure every call to include specific headers if we want to do that, right? So generally speaking, what we want to achieve is that those headers come along with every request, and we can do that by injecting that to that thing, and so to the call, and they have to come from somewhere. We don't want to store them in memory because they can get lost, so we need to fetch them from storage. The problem with React Native is that there is no local storage, and therefore that is a bit confusing. And why is there no local storage? Well, because I guess there are many reasons, but One is that there is no window object, and local storage is part of the window object. And just to prove my point here, if we now open up our DevTools and we do, local storage like this, we can see that there is something here in the local storage. It has been stored by gist, but that is just a shorthand. It is actually a part of this window object. It's the same thing. Do you understand? And since we don't have a window anywhere, because window represents the actual browser in itself, then there is no local storage. So how do we fix that? Well, we fix that by installing a package that is called Async Storage. So if we go to npm.js.org and we search for Async Storage, we can see that there is a package like that, and that is not this one. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is this one. Actually, I thought it was not. It was something else. Right. So this one will. No.
Isn't the one under it?
That's not the one.
The second one.
That's the one. Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, duh. Oh, well, I didn't say that. But anyway. Right. So this is an asynchronous, unencrypted, persistent key value storage system for React Native. Key value storage system. That is exactly it. So for you guys that have been covering a bit of Ruby, for instance, you know that key values are hashes in Ruby. In regular JavaScript, you could compare them to regular objects. JSON is a key value object notation. Key values are pretty basic, bread and butter stuff, right? So you set a key and set a value to that key, and you can access that one way or another. So we're going to use that for our mechanism to store our tokens, because it does support iOS and Android, and it also supports web and some other stuff, but we don't care about that now. The only important thing is that it supports this thing of ours. Yeah, good. So there is a package that is called it is called JTalk Auth. Let's see, JTalk Auth. No, talk. Oh, what is it called? Jesus. Right, there it is. Right. This guy who calls himself Ethernet, I guess. Right. He wrote a nice little package to simplify the process of authenticating users with device token auth for JavaScript. And we use this quite extensively, actually. This is a good package. The problem with this package is that it doesn't work for React Native. And so when we started to look into authenticating users in React Native apps, then we thought, why don't we just take a look at what this guy did, because it works so well, and just modify this to our needs. So we did that. This package doesn't use async storage. Our implementation does use async storage. So we will use this rather than his package. So this code that you see here is a rewrite of his stuff. Shamelessly stolen, but I am giving attribution right now. So that's pretty okay. It was open sourced, so I don't think he minds. And we're just using this in a different context. So make sure to click on this link and have this one open, because we will need this code in our implementation today. Okay. And if we take a look at what this guy does before we start implementing it is a few things. You know, we import Axios, we import Async Storage, we set the API URL, which is automatically set to localhost 3000 if we are in development mode. If we are not in development mode, then we need to set it manually. But it is set to localhost 3000. Not sure if this actually works, to be honest. And then we have some default options when we instantiate the class. We do not deal with with the roles because they are predefined to come as an array, and we generally don't do that. So that is a little bit out of scope here. And then we just tell this guy that storage is async storage, and the key in which we will store our credentials. Who did that? Am I putting you guys to sleep again? Is that Christel? You're not yawning? No?
Not me this time.
Not you this time. Okay, I'm sorry to I was dragging. Okay, Lucas, now I see who did that. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I'm doing my best here, you know.
I think it was Krista, actually.
Right. Anyway, if we store something in this async storage, the key that we will be using is called Auth Storage, right? You guys used something like not current user, but something user. User data. Yeah. So in our case now that will be called Auth Storage, and then we instantiate this class. We have a constructor here, and in the constructor we just take into consideration the default options that we defined here, but we also pass in some other options that are passed into the constructor, basically. So that's pretty simple. If we are passing in any roles, they are stored as an or if use roles is set to true, we just use them as an array. Otherwise, we just undefine that. Doesn't matter. We will not use this particular thing today. And then we have the API URL, which is going to be a URL to your authentication endpoint. And then you see we have preset this that you only have to pass in the API path. It adds auth automatically because it's predefined or preset to use with device token auth, so you don't have to set this yourself, and so on, right? So then we have something about email, password field. If it's called, you know, here we're just preparing this package to use other key names than email and password. If you want to modify that, in certain cases you do that, but we don't have to worry about that too much either. Then we're just pointing to the sign in and sign out path, and we also have a validate token URL, which is also important because pre-flight you have to validate the token from time to time. But then we use those interceptors, right? So we take a look at Axios. This is predefined to be used with Axios. We are doing that here without getting into too many details. The response total, parse int, response headers, data count. Yeah, don't worry about that. No. And then we just test the connection. But what we have here is a session attribute that was defined here somewhere, right? No, we defined that later. This session will hold the keys automatically for us, and then we have some functionality here. We have the sign up, we have the sign in, and we have the sign out, and we also have the delete resource if you want to really delete your account with the backend, and we have a validate token function here. We also have change password and reset password if you want to use that. I don't know if you have planned to use anything like that. I'm just telling you that this is made available to us on this one. And you can update password. And you can also lock routes with this one, which is a nice one. So this guy provides functionality to close down certain routes that are by default password protected. There are other ways to do that in React Native as well, but this one is pretty nice because it will detect whether you are logged in or not and open up that route immediately. You understand? So this is also a nice addition. And here is the set session. This is the one. This is a function that is responsible for setting all of these tokens for us in our or get them from storage and set them in headers, basically, and so on. Right. We don't want to care about the other stuff because it's not going to come into play today. But it's a pretty extensive type of functionality that will allow you to both sign up, register, and then work with your session, delete the user, reset passwords, and so on. So it provides a wide range of functionality for you. And if you would like to use the similar functionality in your regular React application, then you can eject your module from your own app as it stands today and use this version instead. JTalk Auth. It's the same thing, and it out of the box will give you more functionality than you probably have today. Does this make sense, Seva?
Yes, it makes sense. I only have just a small question. I just kind of didn't get it in this code. In class Auth, right away, I have these constructor options, and then this Axios interceptors.
You mean why
What
you
is
have a? Sorry.
Like,
the first question is why you have a constructor in a class?
no, I just kind of don't really. I kind of just don't probably get how it works. So you have all these kind of functions: sign up, sign in. It's okay. It's familiar, but constructor options, it's kind of not familiar.
Okay. So the constructor is like an initializer in a class, right? This is the first method that will be run when you instantiate a class.
Okay.
And that sets the default. I mean, there are many responsibilities of a constructor, but it pretty much, in this case and many other cases, sets the initial values of the object, of the instance of the class. So here we're just setting a lot of default options unless we are passing in any options to the Auth instance, right?
And interceptors,
yeah,
like
so
Axios interceptors.
Interceptors are a way to modify the behavior of Axios, basically. In this case, we are setting. Where are the interceptor?
41.
Yeah,
I think, no?
Right. So when we get a so this one, this interceptor is listening in on whatever response we are getting back from our once we have made a request and we get a response, then it executes this code and then returns the response. So in this case, we are just looking at response data, and we say total. Why, I don't really know. This particular part we haven't written ourselves, but you get a new attribute that is called total with the data count value of the header that is being returned, used for the session probably, but the interceptor in Axios can be used for many things, and I think I showed you once a version of this where we were showing a spinner because we were listening for the request being made, and we the only thing we didn't modify the request in any way. We just dispatched a value in using Redux, to show a spinner to dim everything, and then when the response came back, we opened this up again. Right? So you're basically in this case, the way we used it, it was like listening for an event. Basically, as soon as you make a request, do something, and when you get the response back, then you do something again. Pretty much, So that was the only thing we did there.
Okay, cool.
Right. Okay. So, David, does this make sense to you?
Yeah, sure. This is very interesting to do now. Looking forward.
Good stuff. All right. And Arun?
Yes, I like the question of Seva. It was very interesting. I think so. I think it's making more sense now. I'm trying to understand it properly now. Yep.
Okay, cool. Lucas?
Yeah, no, I've seen this JTalk before, but it's interesting how we can meddle with the just the storage and make it with just that available on native. That's pretty cool.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Cool. And Christer?
Yeah, it seems cool. I wondered the same thing as Seva, so you answered those questions.
Good stuff.
But yeah, be cool to use it, see how it works.
All right. Luke?
Yeah, definitely interesting. Looks a lot more flexible than our current implementation. If there's maybe time, maybe we should consider looking at it. Definitely.
If you want to do this in React Native, there is no other way than this. You can't use your own implementation. Probably. Yeah, unless you...
I was thinking the JTalk Auth as well for our
Gotcha.
web-based implementation as well.
Gotcha.
Try and keep it consistent between all applications.
Absolutely. And let's see, and Kim.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good with this walkthrough. I like it. You can do it on more stuff, actually, I think. Could be nice.
Cool. All right.
So maybe a quick question. Sorry, maybe I just kind of missed that, but this stuff only works on React Native. It doesn't work in regular.
When you say this stuff, you mean this code that I'm
your code, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it works on any platform that can use Async Storage. This package. There are probably other packages that you can use for other environments, but in principle, yes, that they claim that it works on the web, so web support added, yeah. So you can use it in a regular web-based application as well.
Mm-hmm. But it's would be better to use regular JTalk.
I can't answer that. There's no answer to that question. I mean, because when you ask if it's better, then it's definitely opinionated from me. So I don't know what
you would advise.
My advice would be
different.
My advice would be not to use this one, because you have to install more dependencies, and you already have that functionality with storing something in a key value pair in your browser, so you don't have to use Async Storage for anything else, right? So I would probably not use it. But if it's better or not, I can't really be the judge of that. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a raw look at this. So I just click the raw button on my gist. I'm gonna select all of that, copy this. I'm gonna go into my code. I'm gonna check out a new branch, and I notice that not everyone is checking out new branches when you when you submit your code. So please do. It's easier for everybody involved. And authentication. Right. And now I'm just gonna do. Well, I had already opened this. Where is it? There it is. I'm going to create a new folder. And again, I will not write tests today, but rather see if we can implement this. Perhaps I should write tests. I don't know. I have screens. I'm going to create a new one, a new folder that I will call modules. And I will create a new file, and I will call it auth.js with a small a, by the way, sorry. And I'm just gonna paste this thing in here. Okay, and reformat my code, so I'm good to go. That's about it. But we see that we're using Axios and React Native Community Async Storage. So we basically need to go to our terminal and say yarn add Axios and the React Native Community Async Storage, like this. Yarn add Axios space and the async storage package.
I think Expo has this also, but I don't know the difference, if there is a difference.
I don't know if there's a difference. Might be. We can check it out. Async storage. Yes. Right, so we could potentially install this with Expo.
Ah, it's the same.
Yeah.
But with okay.
Well, it's not really the same, to be honest.
What's called the same? Right?
No, because this one is called, the other one is called React Native Community Async Storage.
Oh right, no, that's true.
So now I'm a bit worried. Right, why would this be different? It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the exact same thing, but they are called differently. And it's the same version number. Do you see that?
Yeah.
No, well,
No.
React. No, what the? No, this.
Where's
No,
the
it's
community?
not. No, this is the mine. This. It's me. It's not them. Hold on a second. What? What have I done now? 112. You see, this is. Oh shoot.
Wait, look, it said it had moved to a new organization now called. If you go back to your terminal.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, so it is the same thing. But why did we install 1.12.1 and not 1.15.4? You see, we installed a different version. Let's not dwell on that. Let's hope for the best. Otherwise, we just update, right? The devil's in the details, folks. We have to pay attention to everything.
Indeed.
But good catch on this one. Anyway, so we probably want to copy this and change the import. I don't know if we need to do that. Now I don't know if I'm fucking things up here, to be honest. Let's take it easy on that one. Anyway, we want to add a stack screen here. No, what we can do is we can go to screens and we can create a new file and we can say authentication. Yeah, let's do authentication.js. Authentication. Yeah, let's do authentication. And then we do, what was it? Royal Navy.
FES.
FES. For Eastern Spain.
Right, there we go. And so here I want to import from my modules the auth file. I want to import auth, and I also probably gonna have to import state. So use state here on this one, and what else do I need to import? Probably a button, right? Yeah, we're gonna import a button. And so here we want to say const email. So we're just gonna do a login right now, okay? To start with, even though I call this authentication. So we're gonna deal with both login and log out on this one. But anyway, email, set email, and that would be use state, and that will be nothing initially. And we're just gonna make it easy for me, and I'm gonna change this to password and set password like this. This is regular React, so there's nothing here. And let's just create another one that we say call message and set message like this. So we have 3 attributes on this thing: email, password, and message. And so we can say something like in this view, yeah, we have to import another thing. We have to import text input from React Native also. Okay. Right. And in our style sheet, I know that we're gonna have to style it a little bit. Input. We're gonna input, not output. Input, Thomas. Input. Let's give it width 350, and then height. It needs a height, and we height, and we're gonna give it a height of 50 or 55, and then we can give it a background color just so we have something so we can see it. Background color, and what is light gray? Let me see. Light gray in hex. That would be D3, D3, D3. Okay, let's do D3 on this one. There we go. Okay, so here we want to add something like login, and then we want to add a text input, and the text input will not, we need to close it immediately. And here we want to say style, and the style will be the styles input, right? So now that we have that, we can just copy it and add it below here, another one, because we're gonna need two inputs. You guys with me? It's a code along, so I'm gonna need to have you to submit those. Is everyone coding?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna add a placeholder to this guy, and the placeholder on this one will be, email, and it's not that, but this, right? And then here we're gonna add a placeholder that will be password, and then we're gonna add a button, right? So we're just gonna say button and close this one, and we're gonna have probably style it. We'll see, perhaps not. But we want to give it a title, and the title will be login, something like this. Okay. All right. So we have our mini form here. Okay. Now here on the text inputs, we want to give it an event, or bind an event that is called onChangeText. That's the one that is best suited for us. And here we will just do a very small function, text. It's actually called text automatically, and then set email text. You know what that is. So this one grabs whatever is in the value of the input and stores it in a local variable called text, and we are using that text to set the email, that we set up with state. That is the simplest way to do this, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree, but I like it. So on change text here, we do the same thing here, text, and set password would be text. Okay. Yes. And on this guy, we will also say secure text entry, and we will set that to true. And when I say this one, I mean the one that is dealing with the password. Okay.
Yes.
And on the button, we will say, I think we can do a little bit of styling inside. If we do type equals solid, I don't recall this really, and we say color equals what? We're gonna ask for more colors, so we're gonna add this like dark gray in hex. Dark gray, that would be A9. All right, let's try A9. You can set whatever colors you want, of course, unless they have at least some good taste in them, but that's opinionated, so you can do whatever you want. Right. Button, and here we can say on press equals function, no arguments, so parentheses, and here we will just say, authenticate user, authenticate user, yeah, just authenticate user. Right, and so we need to create that authenticate user function somewhere, right? So we're gonna do it here. I'm gonna say const authenticate user equals a function like this, and then we're gonna say debugger here. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then we're gonna deal with the message after a short while. We don't have to deal with this now. Now, forget about the auth. It's not being used yet, so it's grayed out. We are also not using the email password and this message stuff, but we will get to that in just a second. Are you on board with what this is doing, kind of, so far? It doesn't it doesn't do anything. It hits the debugger once you have clicked on this thing, right? So yeah. So what we need to do is to import this guy into our app.js, our main component. So we're just going to say import from screens the authentication component, right? Authentication, right. And so what we probably need to do is to copy this one that we had second screen, you know, because I can't be bothered to rewrite this at this point, okay? And I will put this one on top, and I will call this authentication. And we probably gonna remove the options of header, back, title. We don't need that. But the component will be authentication as well. Okay. Yes. That's what we're gonna do. Are you done with that?
Yep.
I keep on talking, so I hope that you guys are try to follow along with what I'm saying.
Yep.
And that it all makes sense one way or the other. Go ahead, there was a question?
No, nothing. Sorry, I was just saying yes. I'm following along.
Right. Good stuff. Okay, so what I will do now is to spin this guy up. Okay, so I'm going to do yarn start. And we're going to open this one up in our browser. Like this, and I will click on run in web browser like this, and there was a module not found, right, because I fucked up. React Native Web Storage, right, shit. Okay, I don't know if you guys made that change. If you did, no, that's good. Don't do it then. Don't do it, because apparently
it fucked up for me anyways.
We will deal with that in just a second. Yarn add. Right, so I'm just gonna add this one. Okay, you said it fucked up. What happened?
Authentication is not defined.
Right, there's typos. Check for that first.
I guess it is.
So you have a module that is called Auth. Yeah, and I just right. No, sorry. Yeah, you have the module called Auth and another one screen that is called Authentication.
Yeah, authentication.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I can share. I guess it's some typo somewhere.
Right, let's have a look. We'll fix
this one.
There's a like line 7 is out.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Good stuff. All right. So if we move over to Seva.
Kind of work for me. I see the app.
Do you see the
login?
Login, email, password. Yeah, but they're like kind of like very tiny.
Yeah, right.
So, but styling is off. But yeah, I can see it, and the button also.
Yeah. Did you give them a height and width and stuff?
Does it look like this?
No, they're more squished.
Well, then you probably didn't give it.
Yeah, I will check for that, but it kind of works. So.
Yeah, so you have to give it a width and you have to give it a height, but otherwise they will be very, very squished. Okay, and you can do margin, or margin. No, padding. No, margin bottom, for instance. 20, something like that. and that would also just increase the thing between them. Do you understand?
Yeah, apparently width 55 is not enough. Or
no, width 55 is. I mean, I had width 50 and height 55.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, I'll figure it out. No problem.
Right. So these guys need to be styled. They come totally unstyled. That's why we call them primitives, among other things. Okay. So you can wrap them in a container and all of that. I mean, you can do a lot of things. But that's the way they look at the moment. Okay. So let's see if we click on this guy. And when we click on this, we are hitting the debugger. Luke, can you confirm that?
Give me a second. Yes.
Okay, Lucas, can you confirm that? Didn't get you.
You're muted, Lucas.
Anyway, yes.
All right.
Jesus.
David, can you confirm that?
I have another problem, so I will fix it like later.
What is the other problem?
It says the Auth.js has a problem, like typo. There's like empty row, but I don't find it.
Just copy and paste the whole
Unexpected character. I did it. Like yeah, okay, no worries.
I had the same. I
we-
get rid of line 3 and line 10. There's a gap. I just
But
delete
we're not even using it yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. It's just failed to compile.
Line 3. You said line 3 and
like
Line
10.
13 is mine.
Oh, 13, okay.
really.
Yeah. I took those 2 lines away and then it worked. There was nothing there.
Like this, like those.
Yeah, exactly. Those 2 lines.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Pretty weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
line
Arun, can you confirm?
Yes, it is working. I messed up with the height a little bit. I did 555. Now it is fine. Everything.
Okay.
I'm
And you're
stopping.
in the debugger. And Kim?
Yeah, it works fine.
Okay, right, good stuff. Okay, so here, once we've hit this guy, we want to actually authenticate this guy. So let's release this for now. You can mute yourself for a second. There's a background noise. Right. So what we need to do is to create a constant that we will call auth with a small a, and we will say equals new auth, and we will have parentheses, and we will pass in an object, and we will say host, and then host, and then as a string there will be a URL to your API here, and that URL is in somewhere. We already have that in the first screen, perhaps. Yeah, right. So that's going to be the URL to the API, like this. And you don't want this tailing slash on this. Okay, and then we can remove the debugger, and here inside of the authenticate user we will say auth dot sign in, and we will pass in to let's see, so I'm not lying to you guys. Let's see, sign in. Sign up is here, and sign in is, yeah, it takes 2 arguments, email, password, right? So we're just gonna say email and password, like this. And we will, before we actually do that, so we will make this authenticate user an asynchronous function, by the way, and I will say const response equals await this, and here I will set another debugger. Right, and now I would like you to tell me if there is a user on your fakest API that I could use. Is
What's his name? Is it Bob Kramer? Something like that.
Yeah, but where does he has an email? And password is password, but what is email?
Give me a second. I think I've got the API open somewhere. 2 seconds.
Jeez, yeah.
If we didn't drop a database, we have me there. I have my
Mr. Fake at fakenews.com.
Yeah,
like this, Mr. Fake with one word, or do I have to?
Yeah.
At fakenews.com.
Yeah.
And password is password?
Yes.
Okay, let's try that. There is a response. We're stopping. So we're just going to say response, success, data. There we go. Mr. Fake.
Fuck, I don't stop.
Fuck.
What? So let's take a look at the code again. We have a const response await auth. You need to make it asynchronous.
Yeah.
And you have an await auth sign in, and then you pass in email and password. Let's have a look at you are.
I didn't.
No, don't click. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Ah. See. Auth.
Host. No, why would you put in articles there on line 11? No reason for that.
Ah.
I removed it right
Sorry.
there. There you go. Right.
Like that.
Right.
I just copied from
Yeah.
from the Cypress.
Now just okay this and do this again. Hold on. Authenticate user on line 36 need to have parentheses after it.
Ah.
Right, let's try it again.
Kurva.
Yeah. Ahead in tech, Sanjay, welcome to us, to our session. Bonjour, bonjour, monsieur. And Australia is calling. That's also nice. Let's see.
Oh.
There you go. Now just do response and hit enter in your console. There you go. You have successfully.
Success.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great, folks. So let me just ask this: who is not stopping on that debugger?
I'm not getting anything. We can fix it later.
No, there is no later, David. Come on.
I mean, I have exactly what you wrote, but it's not.
No.
It's
Let's
touching
open it
wrong.
up. Open it up.
It fucked up for me too, so.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, you've been lurking for a while? Well, there you see. We're doing, then you know what we're up to. The guys love when somebody's lurking. Share your screen, David.
Yeah, I'm on my way. Sorry.
Right, let's have a look. So make it a little bigger for the old man here.
Oh, sorry.
Remove the trailing API on line 10. The last slash. There you go. Authenticate async. You don't have a debugger set in, so that's why it doesn't stop, David.
No, I don't get anything at all.
Well, because there's nothing to get. But okay, let's see. Probably, I don't know. Login style, set email text, set password text. Scroll down a little bit. You can start it. If it's not started, then you can start it. Right, scroll, authenticate caller, authenticate user, password text, right. On change text, secure text entry true. Right, let's We served. We'll fall back. Right. Let's open it up.
Here's my error.
Okay. Let's go back to your code. Scroll up. You're not importing Auth.
Fuck.
No, hold on a second. Now you totally like it's no line 4. What is line 4 now? You can remove that extra space there now. So it's called Auth and not authentication.
Yeah.
Authentication is the name of your Auth as a capital A. There you go.
Yeah.
Right now this should work now.
Nope. Same shit.
Oh no, it's not the same shit.
Uh-huh.
It's all right. Hold on a second. In Auth, hello world modules, Auth light JNS. Okay, go to. Hold on a second. Where? So you're in Auth. Okay, go to your modules folder and get the Auth and show me line 17 there. Class Auth default options. Okay, let's have a look now. So do the what Luke did. Remove line 3. Right.
Mm-hmm. No.
Let's instance.
No, it says thrown error cannot. What is it? Where is this?
Options. Okay. Storage Auth. Storage key Auth storage. Right. This is nothing more. Okay, go back to Authentication JS for a second. Host HTTPS. Let's see what else. What can we have done wrong here? Modules. Authentication. Could you stop and start the server again? And close that browser also. Stop. Scroll up a little bit. Oh shit.
Shall I?
There was a warning, so we need to. You need to stop this, and we have to. Can you stop that, please?
Yes, of course.
Right, and let's start it again. There is installed.
Some developers are.
Oh, that's not it. That's not it.
No.
Okay, let's see if you can just reload that browser page again. Now you have so many things open there, right?
It just opened automatically.
Yeah, but we want
to start again.
No. Oh.
Sorry. I started over a couple of times. That's why it's many. So here you go.
Cannot call a class as a function. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so one thing at a time now. Could you open up the other tab on your browser for a second? No, the other tab that is open on the browser.
Sorry. Let me. Got too many shit here. There you go.
Right. Okay. So it's not much. Okay. And now you just click Run in web browser now. Oh, I need to see this pop up. Okay, now you can close both of those that says hello world. You don't have to keep them open. Keep this one open. Okay, let's go back to the code for a second. Don't click anything in the browser now, please. Reacts use state style sheet text auth from modules auth from modules auth, and it's in modules. Modulus. Yes. Okay. Authentication event is auth equal authentication. Yeah. Auth equals auth host. Yeah. So that's the one. That's nothing wrong. And then you do this. Right. Okay. So I want you to comment out line 10 and comment out line 12.
Maybe the package didn't get installed correctly.
Yeah, maybe.
But I assume you installed it because I'm
Yeah,
not even
of course I
looking
did.
there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, just
I
click
mean-
run in web browser now. Right, so it's being called from somewhere, you know. Okay, so comment out line 3 for now. Right, and let's reload again. That's it. It's being called from somewhere. You need to let's do a search for auth with a capital A.
Import here, maybe.
No, that's not. We're not. This is not what we're looking for. Right.
Yeah. Import.
Yeah. Okay. Click
In
on the one.
AuthJS, the first one. You're importing is authentication.
Yeah, you're importing the wrong thing there. Okay. So don't do anything now, David. Don't do anything. Now.
Yeah, this is wrong. Yeah.
So what is wrong?
Authentication. It must be auth.
No, that's the thing. It's not that. You need to import it from screens, or screen in your case, you know. There you go. And then you have style. It's called styles. It's called styles and not style.
That's 20.
Authentication. It's in the other file.
Oh, sorry.
And the same thing on line 25.
All of them.
Yeah, I copied it.
No.
No.
Yes, don't copy it. Don't copy it.
No, that's the thing. Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, so does anyone else have issues now, or are you good?
Good to go.
Everyone is good to go? All right. Okay. So now when we do this again, we have data, success true. Right. So let's do storage. No, I'm sorry, auth storage. No. Let's have a look. How can we access that? Options, session, process. Right, there, session. It's called session. Auth session. And in auth session, if you stop there, right, then not only do you have access to the response and data and all of that stuff, but also you can do auth.session, and you can see that those tokens are there. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. This means that we are pretty much logged in, basically. All right. But what else can we do here? We can do set. We can do UID. Does this guy have a name? Yeah, last name. Right. So we could. Right. So we could do something like set message, and then backticks, not regular ticks, and then we say welcome. What, do we have full name on this, by the way? I think we have full name, right? Do we have full name? response data, or is it first name? You guys wrote this, so I'm kind of asking you.
This fucking mute. Yes, first name. First underscore name.
Yeah.
First underscore name.
Yes.
And is there a full name by any chance?
No, but there's a last name.
Okay. Right. So we're just gonna do that. Well, not plus like this. No, let's not overdo it. Last name. And if we have a message, so we're just gonna say, you know, string interpolate. I mean, it's JavaScript, and we say message, and then question mark, and then end. Well, no, that's not how we do it. I forgot how to do it. No, question mark. Sorry. Message and then we just say text, and then message, like this. Okay, let's have a look at this now. No, not change password. Fuck off. Right. So what was it, Mr. Fake? At fake news.
Yep.
.com, and then password is just password. Welcome, Mr. Fake. Right. But then, of course, if there is a user logged in, then we probably want to hide those input fields. We want to navigate somewhere else. We can do a lot of things. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But this is pretty much it in this case, right?
It's awesome.
Yeah. You style this however you want to style this.
Thomas, can you show me authentication.js folder? Just a little bit I missed.
Yes, that's that. You mean the file, not the folder?
The file, yeah, sorry.
Yes. So I don't know, chat, if you are doing React Native apps, but this is how you can authenticate.
Yep,
at least
thank
very
you.
basically.
It's fine now.
Okay, good stuff. So what we could do is we could do something like put a question mark here, do this, and then we just add a colon here, and then move all this all the way down, and then wrap this in fragments. So we get this. Right. And now if I run this, so I just do Mr. Fake at fakenews.com password, and now it hides it. Do you understand? Now we're not showing this anymore. Welcome, Mr. Fake. Are you down? Quick refactoring to a ternary operator. But it needs, you need to pay attention to details when you do things like that, because it all depends on where you are. But so here basically I'm saying, if there is a message, then display the message, and if there isn't a message, then display this thing. Do you understand? So that takes care of that. And also here we can say, perhaps instead of setting a message, we can just say navigate. I think, what is it? Navigate. Is that what we do? Let's see, first screen. Navigation, right. So we can say, we can do something like this, navigation. And then instead of setting the message, I can comment this one out, and I would say navigation, navigate, first screen, right? Was it called first screen? I think it was called first screen. First screen. Yes, it was called first screen, but it wasn't called here. It was called second screen. Give it a name. What was the name? My application. Now we have to say my application. So that's shit. That sucks big time. Right. So we have to navigate to my application. So yeah. Anyway, let's try that again. No. What? Oh, sorry, forgot one single little quote. There we go. So Mr. Fake at fakenews.com, password, and then we log this in, and then we go over there when we are logged in. And then you can handle, if you don't log in, then you want to do something else instead. That's probably when you want to set the message, if you're catching an error or something like that. Do you copy, folks?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, any questions?
What do you, in regards to the app, what do you think is nice? Would it be to kind of have the login as the first thing, so you have to be a user, kind of, or should we have some kind of restriction logic similar to website?
In your case, you mean?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would probably not restrict everything from start. Show them the index action, and when they want to read something, you just pop this up, and on this screen you say you need to be registered. You need to log in in order to read those articles. And either, with this solution, it's pretty easy to register. So you could use that, or you just point them to the website, as we spoke earlier.
Yeah.
And what I would say is that you prepare two set of buttons and inputs. You can extract them into different components, and then you just toggle the visibility. Say that I want to register, then you show one thing, and I want to log in, already have an account or something. But be very like that. That sounds a little bit too webbish for me. So you have to work with big buttons or very clear communication towards the user, right?
Yep.
Because it's, and then full size input fields, so that the user can actually use that properly and type and so on, right?
Absolutely.
So that would be that. Next time I will show you how you can authenticate using. And that's a bit tricky here on the React Native and device token out, but how you can do that with Facebook and so on. That's actually much trickier than it should be. The way we the way Rails APIs are built, because it at that point you have 3-point communication. You have your API, the authenticator, the OAuth provider, and then back to your React Native application. And that's pretty tricky to do. I've done it for, like, we authenticated using Spotify, for instance. And there was a little bit of hacking going on there, actually. Like, I needed to go in and override a lot of functionality in the device token auth library, which was not, it didn't feel overly good, but we did it, and the students could demonstrate that on their on the final project, on the graduation, but it wasn't really what we hoped for. And also in their case, they wanted to use Spotify because the entire app was built around music, and they were using the Spotify API. But Spotify isn't the first thing you come to mind when you use OAuth. It's usually Twitter or Facebook that you use for that.
True. Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's a very convenient method, because if you think about it, authenticating on a mobile phone is pretty damn hard, especially for old guys like me. Thick thumbs, a lot of remembering the passwords. If the longer the password is, the harder it is to with those dots and so on. But so it's very convenient to be able to do that on using an OAuth provider, but it's a bit tricky. It's actually a bit tricky, to be honest. And I'm looking into simpler ways to do that, because in the way I set it up, like the React Native app is sending something off to our API. The API communicates with the OAuth, right? But the OAuth redirects to the client, because the client needs to often when you authenticate using OAuth, you get this pop-up screen from the provider saying, do you allow them to to see your info, right? That is the problem here, right? Because we need to set this open one way or another, and that's a bit tricky. But we've done it. We can do it. I'm looking into better ways to perform that action. So I can't really promise you that I will do it for this particular project, but I can definitely show you this before the end of the bootcamp.
Awesome.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions at this point? No. All right. Kim, did you learn anything today?
Oh yes, doing this. So yeah. What more to say? It's like what we did today, so that's
all right. Okay. Thank you, Seva.
Well, I think it's like very like what we already did by authentication, so it's not very different. The package that you showed us, I think that will simplify our life great deal here, and I definitely think we should use it in the next project on the web. But yeah, pretty cool.
Cool. Arun?
Yep, I think it was nice to do the authentication on mobile app. And I think for me, it's a little bit like goes everything fast. I think I will like to rewatch it again. But I think, of course, I learned how to do this thing, authentication. So, but I will like to watch it again to grasp it and understand it in a better way, I think.
All right. Okay. Christer?
Yeah, nice to see how to do it in native. And also that details matters and stop them typos.
Oh yeah, we're still there. So it is fast, as Arun said, because it's a boot camp, and
it's just me.
I'm surprised that we're still talking about that. And typos, yes, it is a boot camp, and typos have been following us along since prep course. So let's try not to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Learn how to spell.
And how to spell. All right. Lucas, did you learn anything today?
Yeah, no, it was interesting to see JTalk in with the async. Definitely, and how, because also cool to actually you take the JTalk out of its shell and just plug it in as its own module, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that gives even more customization, I guess. Like we can play around with the URLs and have multiple routes, I guess.
Yeah, no, you can in principle do that with the package as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can do that.
Okay. But it at least seemed easier to do here.
Yeah. Exactly. And the thing is that I read a lot of code and I enjoy reading code, and by having it in my repository, I can actually take the time to read through it and set debuggers much easier if I want to play around and see what's going on. I've debugged this because when I was doing those changes, I rewrote a little more than just changing the storage. I actually made them some of the things asynchronous because they weren't before, because you don't have to, like local storage is synchronous usually, right? So you do things differently. Right? So you bring it closer to home, basically.
Right. Cool.
Right. And then Luke, did you learn anything today?
Yeah, everyone's covered it already. I think it'll be cool to implement this in our app if we get some chance, and how we can add the same functionality we have on our website to our mobile application as well. But yeah, it's really cool, and like Google said, that it's without diving into a dependency, that this gives us a bit more chance to look through it and read it and understand it a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. David?
Yeah, sure. Every time you say you do this, we do this code alone, I learn a lot. It's like good experience for us, I think. And this authentication, we're gonna need maybe tomorrow already for our app. Yeah,
Cool.
this
Cool
is great.
Cool
Yeah.
beans. The big thing here is, like, what I really need you to take away from all of this is that it's not that super complicated. It's all about details, and the concepts are basically the same. You need to send off a request. You need to get something back. You either succeed or you don't succeed, right? So that's the way it is, basically, right? So you're probably gonna have to wrap this, like, in the authenticate user, the response await. You need to wrap this in a try catch block, because things can go wrong. And we're gonna actually try this before we part way. So if we do try catch, and I put this into the first block and put a debugger in here, and then I go over here and try to authenticate with something, wrong. There we go. Right, so now we are in the catch block, right? Because that didn't fly. We didn't get a proper response from the API. So now we just do error. No error. Unauthorized. Why not? But we have an error here. So, gee, really. Response is undefined. So what do we get here? What? Hold on a second. Why not? This is undefined. Try. Why isn't the catching this? Really? That's weird. Let's do this again. Wow. What do you? Whoa! Hold on a second. Now I'm all confused. This was just really my final comment here. When I got into some issues. What the F is going on? Really? Okay, so I have to rewrite this then. Wow. Isn't try catch gonna work on this? Really. Well, okay, then we let me just rewrite this real quickly. So I'm going to change this from an asynchronous method, and then I'm going to say then response. Do I have to do this here? Debugger, and then catch. Well, actually, we can do this and then catch. That's so weird. And then we just move this in here, and we just remove try here. We just remove that. Okay. Do I really have to do this? Let's see. fake@fake.com. Right. And now we see error mess body. Do we have a response? request response. Right, error response. Right. And data, what is data? Errors. Right. Okay, so apparently I need to do this. I can't use the regular try catch on this one. I need to do it like this, and then you will get those error response data errors, which will be the actual error message that you get here. Right. So that was a bit weird. So we will just say remove this, and then we say actually we're gonna remove this in here, and we just do this for now. Right. So let's see. Wrong at news.com. It needs to be a real email address, even if we do it, if you send off the wrong request. Invalid login credentials, please try again. But then you don't want to hide this, do you understand? So you probably need to rewrite the functionality, because you don't want to hide the login form.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Right. And you do get this thing here with the unauthorized error being risen. So that's what it looks like now. And so we basically want to remove this. No, we want to remove this, and then remove this. And that should pretty much do it for us. Invalid login credentials, please try again. You still see it here, right? Okay. That was a bit of a shit show. I really thought that this was this could definitely take a try catch, but it didn't. So we had to revert back to .try and .catch. Okay. Did you understand what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't get the error properly, and therefore we couldn't use it. Yes, Castras, shit is happening sometimes. Shit is definitely. And thanks for the follows, by the way. W3KC and Matteo. What? Matteo Adam? Yeah, well, anyway, thanks for the follow. I'm really bad at decrypting those handles sometimes. Yes. I will be. Well, I don't know about that Ruby on Rails being popular on Twitch. I've seen only 2 or 3 other streamers do Ruby on Rails, but we're working against our Rails backend in this thing, definitely. But Ruby is beautiful, you know. Next week we will be doing Node.js. Yeah. Well, my motto is the fuck is this, you know. That's my motto. I think that's the expression I use most often in coding. The fuck happened here? All right, I think it's gonna do it for me. Thank you very much for the attention, and if there's anything, I will just push this up to my Git repo. Git CIAM adds authentication functionality. There we go. Git push origin authentication. Yes. So let's just, yes. Hey, Cyrus, you're always coming in late. You're always coming in late. I was just showing them. I was just showing them how to authenticate users using tokens. I know. I know. We actually, I was talking off camera with Cyrus about him coming in, doing a bit of Q&A with us at some point. He's a great developer. We just haven't gotten around to setting a date for that, but it will come. It will come soon enough. Here's my PR to my own Hello World. This Hello World application has grown a little bit out of proportion, and I feel I have a sensation that we are a little bit out of scope on this one. Right. Yeah. So this one is also bad, but let's just merge this and send people the link to the to the Hello World app. There we go. All right. See you next. See you next time, people. So actually, this is an interesting question. If I have used Firebase once or twice in my entire life, but not recently. But I know that I think we kind of chatted about this way back, and it's really it's a very fast way to set up a backend, and you can also use JWT with Firebase, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's definitely a good topic for a demo at some point, you know, and using Firebase would be a very beneficial thing, because you can use that to scaffold really quickly, like an API, like a backend, and just focus on, as Cyrus says in the chat, on your own functionality on the front end. But then again, if you want to move into more advanced features than Firebase on the back end, you know, if you do a lot of data processing, then the learning curve is still there, right? So you still need to do a lot of programming, but you can be up and running very fast. Although, you know, we are very fast in getting up and running with Rails as well. But it's, I mean, Firebase is a software as a service, so, or infrastructure as a service, I would say. So it's not infrastructure. No, it's a software. It's a SaaS application, kind of. We can definitely look into that at some point. I'll be happy to, and then I can learn something. You can take over the stream, Cyrus. That can be your thing at some point. Actually, I'm planning to invite a few guests. There is this new framework that people are very excited about, me included. Svelte, or how do you say that? Right. Cybernetically enhanced web apps. So I have a friend here. Yeah. I have a friend here at the office who's a great fan of this, and he agreed to come on the show and do a demo. So that would be definitely an interesting experience. Cyrus, if you would come on board and do a little bit of Firebase, that would be great. And then I have another guy. It's related to programming, although it isn't, and he's a designer. And I challenged him by looking at a company name and a little bit what the company does, and during 1 hour redesign the logotype. Do you understand? With a little bit of thinking, ideas, sketching things, you know, and then just put him a little bit to the test. How much can he come up with within one hour, you know? And he thought that was an interesting challenge. So that would also be a thing to do. So I have a few of these things lined up. Cyrus, I'm going to take you up on that offer. If you're down with Firebase, I think that the guys would appreciate that as well, actually. It's going to be interesting. And spread the word about the channel, and I will invite you someday. You basically what you need to do is just let me know what day would be a good day for you, and so on. Right. And if you guys have any ideas on what technology we can cover, then we just bring it up with me. You have a T-shirt, well then you're God. If you have a T-shirt, then you're pretty much God, I would say. In the alpha team for 5 minutes, well there. I want that T-shirt too, actually. So yeah. All right, boys.
Awesome.
Don't get me started on T-shirts. My wife
exactly.
hates me. I have hundreds of them. So long. Thank you very much for paying attention. I'll be back, and so will you.
Yes.
Sayonara, folks.
Catch you later.
Absolutely.
Bye. So long.
Bye bye.
See you now.
See you later.
See ya.
Yeah.